What if I told you that in the race to become a millionaire, the first $100,000 isn't 10% of the journey? What if I told you it's actually 1/3 of the journey? It sounds like bad math, right? $100,000 is obviously 10% of $1 million. But when we're talking about building wealth, we're not talking about a simple linear road trip. We're talking about launching a rocket. Think about it. A rocket burns the vast majority of its fuel just in the first few minutes, fighting to escape Earth's immense gravitational pull. The initial ascent is slow, violent, and consumes a staggering amount of energy. But once it breaks free, once it reaches escape velocity, it can travel vast distances with minimal effort, coasting on the momentum it fought so hard to build. Your financial journey is exactly the same. That first 100,000 is your launch sequence. It's the period of maximum financial gravity, where you fight the hardest for the least visible progress. But once you break through, your path to $1 million doesn't just continue. It accelerates in a way that defies linear logic. Today on MindFuel Sessions, we're going to prove to you, with math and psychology, why that first 100K is the most important financial milestone you will ever hit. We'll break down the forces that turn that initial grind into a high-speed coast, and show you how understanding this paradox is the key to reaching your own financial escape velocity. Firstly, our brains are wired for linear thinking. When we see a goal like $1 million, we naturally view the path as a straight line. We hit $100,000 and think, "Great, I'm 10% of the way there, only 90% to go." This perspective is not just wrong, it's dangerous. It's why so many people get discouraged and give up during that initial phase. It feels like an impossibly long road. You save for years, sacrificing and working hard, only to look up and feel like you've barely moved the needle. But wealth isn't built on a straight road. It's built in a J-curve. And by viewing your progress linearly, you are completely blind to the incredible power building up just beneath the surface. You're looking at the rocket struggling to clear the tower, unaware that it's about to break the sound barrier. Once you cross that $100,000 threshold, 3 powerful engines ignite simultaneously, transforming your journey. Engine 1, the math engine, your money's income. This is the raw power of compounding hitting critical mass. Before 100K, the heavy lifting is done by you, your savings from your paycheck. But after 100K, your money starts earning its own significant income. Let's assume an 8% annual return. At 20,000, your portfolio earns $1,600 a year. That's helpful. But at $100,000, your portfolio earns $8,000 a year. That's an extra $667 coming in every single month, without you lifting a finger. It's like you hired a part-time employee named Money who works for you 24/7. This new income stream gets reinvested, creating a feedback loop that gets more powerful every single year. Engine 2, the psychological engine, your mindset shift. Hitting your first $100,000 does something profound to your brain. It fundamentally changes your financial identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is just trying to save money. You now have undeniable proof that the system works. You see yourself as an investor. This victory builds incredible momentum. You become more disciplined, more confident, and more motivated. You start thinking bigger. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" you start asking, "What is the opportunity cost of this purchase?" You've tasted real progress, and you become fiercely protective of the machine you've built. Engine 3, the opportunity engine, capital opens doors. Having $100,000 in capital is not just a number, it's a key. It unlocks doors to opportunities that are simply unavailable to those with less. Suddenly, a down payment on a rental property is within reach. An opportunity to invest in a friend's promising startup becomes a real possibility. You can secure better loan terms from banks because you're seen as less of a risk. Your capital becomes a tool that allows you to make strategic moves and build wealth in ways that go far beyond just your monthly stock market investments. You're no longer just a passenger. You're now in the driver's seat. So let's trace this journey on a map to see just where the 1/3 concept becomes crystal clear. Imagine our investor, Sarah, who starts her mission by saving $800 every month, earning an average 8% return from her investments. For her, the journey to the first $100,000 is a marathon of persistence. It takes her approximately 9 long years of consistent effort to reach that initial, crucial milestone. A full decade of discipline, sacrifice, and patience. But this is where the map folds, and the physics of wealth begin to bend. To gain the next $400,000 and reach the $500,000 mark, she doesn't need another 4 decades. Instead, that leg of the journey is completed in just 11 more years. The acceleration is stunning. And what about the final leap? The exhilarating flight from $500,000 to her first million. That final $500,000 arrives in a breathtaking dash of only 6 more years. Think about the total time mapped out before you. The entire voyage to becoming a millionaire takes her about 26 years. The very first $100,000 consumed 9 of those years, which is more than 1/3 of the total time. You spend over 1/3 of your life's financial journey fighting gravity to achieve just the first 10% of the goal. Once you break free, the remaining 90% is conquered in less than 2/3 of the time. This isn't just a motivational idea. It's the beautiful, unassailable reality of mathematics. If that first $100,000 is the most critical and time-consuming part of the mission, then your primary objective must be to shorten that launch sequence as much as possible. Every single year you can shave off that initial phase is another year you get to spend in the high-speed coasting phase, where your wealth builds itself. To do this, you must first go on the offensive. Think of your savings rate as your primary rocket fuel. The single biggest lever you can pull is to increase your income, pouring more fuel into the tanks. Fight for that raise, build that side business, and develop a high-income skill, dedicating every extra dollar earned directly to your investment engine. At the same time, you must be a ruthless defender of that precious fuel. You have to plug every leak. High-interest debt isn't just a bill. It's a gaping hole in your fuel line, and you must seal it with surgical precision. Be wary of lifestyle creep, that slow, steady leak where a raise in pay leads to a raise in spending. Instead, when your income goes up, redirect that new money to your investments. Finally, you must automate the launch sequence itself, because you cannot rely on willpower alone. By setting up automatic transfers from your paycheck directly to your investment accounts, you program your financial rocket to fire on schedule. The money is put to work before you even have a chance to see it or spend it, making your progress inevitable and ensuring the mission can never be aborted by a moment of weakness. The journey to $1 million is a game of 2 halves. The first half is a brutal, uphill fight against financial gravity to reach 100,000. The second half is a high-speed, downhill coast powered by the unstoppable momentum you've already built. Don't be discouraged when you look at your account in those early years and feel like nothing is happening. You're not just saving money, you are building a launch pad. You are fueling your rocket. The work you do to get to that first 100K is the most valuable work of your entire financial life. Understand this paradox. Embrace the grind. Because once you break free, you'll find that the journey to the stars is faster and easier than you ever imagined. If this video helped you see your financial journey in a new light, hit that like button and subscribe to BrainFuel Reads. And let's make this real in the comments. What is one specific action you can take this month to shorten your personal launch sequence and get to that first 100K faster? Because the sooner you escape gravity, the sooner you can start to fly. Until next time, keep your brain fueled.